Welcome to another video. I got a lot of requests about how to wire the YZ magnet and CDI. तो इस एपिसोड में हम बात करेंगे about the YZ magnet and CDI. How is it different from the factory magnet and CDI? How to wire it and how to set your ignition timing. So that being said, first let's weigh these. मतलब इनका क्या weight difference है and how it will affect your performance. So let's go and weigh both of these. So here we have the factory magnet from the 135 RX 135 का ये factory में. Let's weigh this one first. So you can see it's 0 and I'm gonna put this and it is about 1 kilo 700 grams. अभी हम weigh करेंगे the YZ magnet and it is only at 650 grams, so it's almost 1 kilo lighter. Now how does that affect your performance? Since this has more mass, मतलब इसका weight ज़्यादा है, means there is more mass, so your engine has to work harder to rotate this instead of this. So since this is lighter, आपका acceleration will be much quicker. You'll have more acceleration with a smaller magnet than a larger one. But on the flip side, this will have a better low end idle. मतलब आपको cruise करना है कि ऐसा कुछ करना है when you are cruising, if you have more weight, so this is like a flywheel. If you have more weight on the flywheel, तो आपका low end cruising speed अच्छा रहेगा. Here you idle, you have to keep the idle little high, क्योंकि if you keep it very low, then the engine will like jerk. But from our experience, ये इंस्टॉल करने के बाद भी we didn't do anything to the carburetor का सेटिंग हमने वही रखा. Still the idle is quite good. We don't feel any jerking, but and there is a lot of difference with the acceleration. With this the acceleration is like crazy acceleration, and we don't feel any jerking. मतलब ऐसा लगा नहीं कि low end में it is like jerking or sputtering or anything. That being said, now let's go and see what are the wires that go from this and what are the wires that go from there. We'll see how to wire both of these. Before we get into wiring, first you have to find the TDC of your bike. So the correct way to do is with a dial indicator and a degree wheel. मगर वो आपके पास नहीं होगा तो चलेगा. What you can do is you can stick Allen key or a screwdriver where the spark plug goes either, and then you rotate the engine and you see where it is at the topmost point, and I want you to mark your TDC over there. So it is just for reference, आपके reference के लिए कि what is happening with your time. That out of the way, अभी हम बात करेंगे wiring के बारे में. Now let's understand the factory magnet coil and CDI system. तो पहले let's understand what's happening over here. तो ये है हमारा ट्रिगर, और ट्रिगर को पावर करने के लिए है ये वाली कॉइल. सो दिस ट्रिगर एंड CDI नीड्स टू बी पावर. तो उसके लिए ये इंडिविजुअल सिस्टम ये कॉइल दिया हुआ है. सो दैट्स दिस. और ये वाली जो कॉइल है उसको लाइटिंग कॉइल बोलते हैं. मतलब जो आपका लाइट है, हॉर्न, टेल लाइट सिग्नल एंड बैटरी दैट गेट्स चार्ज, दिस कॉइल डज दैट, राइट. Now let's understand the wires. So how many wires are coming out from here? So you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 wires are coming out from here. So the green one is for neutral light. तो ये neutral का indicator है. It is in the wiring harness, मगर it is not a part of the CDI. Now what is happening? ये दो wire है, this goes in the CDI. This is the trigger and charging coil. ये जो ट्रिगर का जो कॉइल है CDI, सो उसके दो वायर है. सो दैट्स व्हाट goes in here, right? Then this goes in the wiring harness. This will go in the wiring harness, right? And this one, the black one, ये जाएगा आपका कॉयल के अंदर, जो इग्निशन कॉयल है उसमें ये वाला वायर आपका फिट होगा. सो दीज आर द वायर्स दैट आर coming from this system, right? Now let's break down the wires that are coming from there. Now ये सब wires क्या है? तो this and this is these are the wires that will go in the rectifier. तो rectifier में ये दो जो येलो एंड रेड स्ट्राइप वाला है और वाइट वाला रेक्टिफायर के अंदर जाएगा. उधर से इट विल चार्ज दी बैटरी. These are also the wires that will run the lighting and all when you run the bike. This is ground. ये तो ground का wire है, right? Now let's understand the wires that are coming out from here. So here we have 1 2 3 4 5 6. Here also we have 6 wires. But ये जो trigger है उसके 2 वायर है. While this trigger has only 1 wire. This is the only wire that comes out from the factory system. While in this YZ system there are 2 wires that are coming out. So there should be 7 wires, मगर इधर भी 6 ही वायर है. So why is it like that? I will explain it. पहले ये वाला कौन सा वायर है? This is your neutral light, right? So neutral light, we're gonna discard it. We don't want to talk about it, but I'll show you how to wire the neutral light as well. These two wires again are for the CDI power system. तो ये 1 2 3 coil, ये उसका वायर है. तो ये CDI को पावर देगा and CDI will get charged, and that's how the ignition will happen. This wire, this over here is from the trigger, right? This is from the trigger, and this one over here is also from the trigger. ये भी trigger का है, ये भी trigger का है. तो अपना, if you see the wiring harness that comes along with it, let's not get confused by it. The pink one will go with the pink, right? This green one with white line will go in the blue one. Yes, thoda it is little odd, but yeah, that's how it will go. Ye connector will straight away fit over here. This is the one that is giving power to the trigger, right? तो ये connector direct fit हो जाएगा. You don't have to think much about it. So pink is here. We have sorted so far 4 wires. This is going here, right? ये इधर connect हो गया. It is not connecting, but you get the idea, right? This one is going here, right? So now we are left with this one yellow wire. ये कहाँ जाएगा? This is for the charging system. Now with the factory rectifier, मैंने आपको बताया there are 2 wires that are coming for charging, right? मगर इसमें से एक ही वायर निकल रहा है. So how do you wire this one? I'll show you. Now if you can see the rectifier over here, उसके अंदर भी there is the same coding, yellow with red line and white. What you have to do, the yellow that is coming out from here, you have to connect with both the wires, both of these wires. So अभी factory wiring मेरे को I didn't want to cut or do anything to the factory wiring. So what I did, I have just spliced the wire. मतलब ऐसे एक cut मार के I have joined the wire. So here we have the yellow and white wire, right, which I have connected to this blue wire. ये फैक्ट्री का ही कनेक्टर है. आई हैव स्प्लाइस्ड द वायर्स एंड कनेक्टेड दिस ब्लू वायर विच इज कमिंग फ्रॉम, इफ यू कम ओवर हियर, दिस येलो वायर. तो ये जो ब्लू वायर जो मैंने अलग से लगाया है इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द येलो वायर, इज द सेम वायर, that is this wire which is connecting both yellow and white. So that's what I have done for the charging system. तो lighting जो lighting coil है और rectifier उसका wiring ऐसे हुआ. Now what are the other wires over here? So if you see, there is lot of ब्लैक एंड ग्रीन वायर और दो सॉकेट है. दिस इज नथिंग बट द किल स्विच. सो इफ द सर्किट, व्हेन यू क्लोज दिस सर्किट, तो बाइक बंद हो जाएगी. व्हेन यू ओपन द सर्किट योर बाइक विल रन. एंड व्हाट इज दिस वायर? दिस वायर विल गो टू द इग्निशन कॉइल. तो इफ यू कैन सी, I have wired the ignition coil with this green wire. Now if you follow this green wire, it's the same black with yellow stripe wala wire. So it is the same wire that is coming out of here. This is your earth. So you have to ground this wire. So we have, sorted all the wires. This will go in the connector. This is for your CDI. तो वो सामने सामने मैच करना है. पिंक इज गोइंग विथ पिंक, बट हियर ब्लू इज गोइंग विथ द ग्रीन विथ वाइट स्ट्राइप वायर. ये जो लाइटिंग कॉइल चार्जिंग सिस्टम का है ये मैंने आपको बता दिया. सो दिस इज ऑल सॉर्टेड एंड आई विल शो यू नो हाउ आई हैव वायर्ड द किल स्विच. मतलब आई हैव वायर्ड इट इन द नॉर्मल की ओनली. तो आई विल शो यू नो हाउ आई हैव डन दैट. Now we have to do the CDI. So CDI is quite simple. You just have to connect this cable to this CDI. उसका जो socket है, it will just fit into it. Now this CDI is quite big. So like the factory CDI goes over here. It is quite small. ये वाला बड़ा unit है. So it won't fit over here, so we have just zip tied it, and that's how the CDI sits over here. Now that was with the wiring. Now how do you do the kill? अपना kill switch कैसे करें? पहले let me tell you about the neutral. So what I have done, there is another green wire that comes from here, right? Then you have to find the factory socket. अभी ये वाला जो फैक्ट्री सॉकेट है इसमें दिस ब्लू वन इज़ योर न्यूट्रल स्विच, राइट. सो आई हैव कनेक्टेड, आई हैव स्प्लाइस्ड इट अगेन. ऐसे मैंने स्प्लाइस करके ये न्यूट्रल स्विच वाला मैंने ज्वाइन कर दिया. सो दैट्स हाउ द न्यूट्रल इज़ वायर्ड. नाउ लेट्स सी हाउ आई वायर्ड द किल स्विच. अभी किल स्विच में से मैंने this was ground, no sorry, this is ground. So we don't need the ground क्योंकि ground तो है ही बाइक के अंदर. This was the kill switch wire. ये जो बाइक बंद करने के लिए how it grounds the system. So what I did is I chopped it off, right, and this is the same wiring. That's the same wire that I chopped off, and I connected it to the factory wiring. See, I'll show you. So this is the wire that I chopped off, and I connected it to the factory wiring. Now ये जो factory का harness है, if you follow the wire, it will go in here. It will go inside the connector. You can follow. अगर आपका, I don't know what color code you gonna have, but you should be able to figure it out. अगर आप की डाल के और ये जो यूनिट है उसका सॉकेट, if you trace it, right, and you should have a multimeter. Multimeter में अगर आप if you power on, then it should be a open circuit. मतलब continuity नहीं आनी चाहिए. If you power off, then there should be continuity between ground and the kill wire, which you have to ground. So that is the wire that you need to connect to this system. Now the wiring is figured out. If you have any questions, you can comment, drop a comment, or DM me on Instagram. Now let's talk about timing. So how the timing works. So with 2 strokes, अभी 4 strokes में क्या होता है that it is related to VE. Now when the throttle is closed, usually the timing is advanced. When you open the throttle at low load, timing is little bit retard, and then when you go higher through the RPM range, the timing will rise up again. That is normal 4-stroke naturally aspirated, but in 2-stroke it is little different. 2-stroke mein it is the same. Now since we are just using CDI, so itna you can't advance retard, because you need TPS sensor as well. So what happens is there is a fixed advance, and then as you go higher in the RPM range, there is little bit more advance, and then it starts retarding the timing in 2-stroke. Abhi higher RPM पे क्यों retard करते हैं? They cut off some ignition timing because of the expansion chamber effect, and to raise the pipe temperature. Now what is why you would raise the pipe temperature at higher RPM? That will change the wave, जो back wave आता है from the expansion chamber. When the temperature goes up, it changes the speed, which is necessary. Plus there is the effect of expansion chamber. So volumetric efficiency at higher RPM for a 2-stroke will increase. So that's why there is a little bit of retard at higher RPM for 2 strokes. That's how the ignition curve of a 2-stroke is. अभी आपको क्या सेट करना है? What you want to set? Should you go for more advanced or less advanced? Now if you want say more mid range, अगर आपको ज़्यादा mid range चाहिए, then you should have more advance. So the power will come early. There will be a chunk of power in the mid range. But more advanced, what it will do is there will be less over rev. मतलब higher RPM पे the power will drop suddenly. Now if there is retard, you will lose a little bit of mid range, but higher RPM pe you will have more boost, so the power will drop slowly. Power will drop at higher RPM, but it will drop slowly. But if there is more advance, the drop is very steep, and it will happen earlier. तो आपका पोर्ट टाइमिंग क्या है, उसके हिसाब से you should set the ignition curve. Now that being said, let's see how this one runs. इसके अंदर ऑलरेडी हमने YZ मैग्नेट फिट किया हुआ है, right? I'm not going to open the cover and show you everything, that's a lot of work, but it is all set. But one thing I would like to add is कि ये जो किट है उसके अंदर ये वाली प्लेट आती है. Now this plate is not made for the RX 135, right? King के लिए होगा maybe for 5 speed, it's a factory fit, but this plate won't fit directly to your 135. So one more thing we'll understand how the CDI system works. So if you see, there is a piece of metal over here that is coming out, मतलब वो ऊपर आ रहा है. So in our RX 135, from the magnet side, the engine is rotating counterclockwise ऐसे. So and the Woodruff key, ये जो key वाला है on the crank, on most of the bike, this is the TDC. मतलब ये जहाँ जहाँ पिस्टन जा रहा है, दिस इज़ द टॉप मोस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द क्रैंक, द वुडरफ की. सो दैट इज़ योर रेफरेंस. और ये आप एक ऑफसेट देख रहे हो, TDC इधर है, बट ये जो मेटल वाला पार्ट है ये इधर है. नाउ हाउ द CDI वर्क्स. CDI stands for capacitor discharge ignition, right? So what happens is ये this will charge और इधर discharge होगा. So this is the point when this point comes, the end. जब ये end ये ट्रिगर डिटेक्ट करेगा तब जाके स्पार्क फायर होगा, राइट? सो यू हैव टू पुट दिस पार्ट वेयर यू शुड पुट द ट्रिगर. सो दिस इज योर TDC, राइट? अगर आपने TDC पे ही रखा सो देन देयर इज नो एडवांस बिकॉज दिस इज फायरिंग एट टॉप डेड सेंटर. बट यू वांटेड टू फायर एट 15 डिग्रीज एडवांस पे फायर करना है. सो यू हैव टू कीप इट ओवर हियर. So what happens is this is TDC, but TDC आया उसके पहले ही फायर कर दिया, and this is TDC, and then you have a good power stroke. So that's how this one works. अभी ये जो plate है, this plate it doesn't fit straight away with any of if you've tried all the combinations, it doesn't work. So we have made a custom plate for this magnet and ignition system, which probably Kishan will drop in an image of how the plate looks. जहाँ पे this is set at 15 degrees and there is a timing adjustment as well. तो आप timing भी adjust कर सकते हो, like you can with the slot has the slots as well, so you can rotate and change the ignition timing. So that's it for this video. We just gonna turn on the bike and do a few runs, and I show you how it works at lower RPM, how the power kicks in. If you have any questions, DM, comment पे डालो. बाकी वायरिंग और सब कुछ I have explained you about the ignition and everything. See you in the next one.